Oh my gosh. And we're here. But we were there.
I feel like I needed to hear the Lawyers and Dragons intro after the end of that. I was like ready for it to go into the and I was like, oh man.
The countdown music is always. No, I'm on another screen. I don't. I can't eat right now.
I feel like we've been transported to some other sort of dimension here.
It certainly feels like that. Yeah. Although it's all still us. So we're all still together, which is cool.
We're in a purple void.
And, well, that was first season of Dungeons and Dragons. What's going on, folks?
Hey,
how are you doing?
We did
Got
it.
Everybody in the chat coming on over. So the purpose of this post show, and I mean, we literally just ended, but we've had tons of questions coming through both today and over the last couple of weeks about how you guys feel about the stream and how you guys feel about the show and partaking in D&D. So I think what we're going to do is, if it's cool with you guys, we're just going to jump right into that for a little bit of time and see how that goes. If that's all right.
Let's talk. Yeah. We're talking dragons.
Let's do it. First question here. First question. Who comes from Kel JC over on the Discord here. Who, and this is for each of you, who was the biggest villain in your eyes? So who did you see as the BBEG, the big bad evil guy?
Glitterblade.
You know what's really funny about that? That makes that felt like a catch-22. I'm sitting there going, now I'm the one with the next freaking turn, and I have to decide what to do. This thing has temporarily been befriended.
Hey, what do you get? Hey, you know what? It's all right. It's all right. For me, the big bad of the season for me is probably the Dark Knight. It's probably Ryan dealing with that personal trauma, how we get to know Buddy. Yeah. Got more to explore there.
And I think that was what was a lot of fun, is that there's still like plenty to explore here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that have been answered, and whether you guys pick up on all of like the small details or not, like we still have a lot of things to go through. I love Ghostblade got the dagger. Now it's the fully the sword. So we're going to get to explore all that. Gimlet,
the Sword of Souls.
We still haven't seen the Feagle clan, and that is something that is very important for me to work in. But it didn't fit into this story, but it will.
Oh yeah, no worries.
And I already have it all mapped out of what's going to happen, and I'm very excited for when we meet the Feagle clan.
Oh
I also like that it was like very, very casually brought up and then very quietly dropped almost immediately about the fact that Ghostblade comes from royalty.
Yep, Prince Ghostblade.
Like it was like everyone just kind of was like, oh, okay, and then like moved on without asking any other questions to be like, that's really interesting. What happened there?
Yeah. And I think that's something else we'll be hopefully exploring very soon too. Ghostblade, who is your biggest bad guy? Who did you think was the biggest bad guy this time?
Honestly, if I'm 100% being honest, it was the dragon, because it was the only time like in a battle where I really felt conflicted about what to do. Like there was a lot of doubt about what to do, whether it was a smart call for the group or not the group. Because every other time, even when facing the Dark Knight the last time, there was something I was capable of doing. But with this one, I was going, this could be a terrible idea, and I have no idea what to do.
Hey, that's to have those moments is like, that's the best part. It's a lot of fun when that happens, when it's like actually conflicting like that. Gimlet, who's the biggest bad guy for Gimlet?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, he was bad.
That was a good one. That was fun.
Gimlet is just like, oh, that bastard.
Well, as I think about it, the right answer might be Nate.
Well, actually, that was one of the other questions.
Hate Nate? I mean, he's just so awesome and perfect. And if only Nate were here, that dragon totally would have been your friend.
Probably.
Well, without making it too much of a thing, but like, did you have a favorite guest character episode? Which of the episodes was your favorite?
I mean, I think Trinity was the most fun. I think the courtroom was the most fun.
I I gotta go with Trinity, and then after that, it's tough because everybody brings their own thing.
They did.
Yeah.
I really liked Kurt's
Blackleaf.
His
Yeah,
chaos
Blackleaf's,
that he
like,
brought.
he was just like, "Hey guys," and now I'm gonna murder some things, and I was like, "Holy crap! I did not see that."
Chaos
coming.
with a smile.
Yeah.
Nate
Oh,
Yeah,
was just
very
oh.
warm chaos.
I do want to change my last answer, and the chat has just reminded me of the one creature I
Oh,
hated more than anything, the little gremlin. that I
Gremlin.
couldn't.
that's Foghorn
Kill.
Leghorn.
That was him.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was the worst, and I still am bitter about the fact that he was prone, and I was cheated out of the chance to slit his throat again.
And the other one I will give a very special thank you to is Natalie, because
Yes,
she was on
that
for
was
when I was
awesome.
doing that interlude,
Mhm.
and it actually really worked out with we just because of time stuff we couldn't do a rules run through, and so I give her tremendous credit because she hit the ground running in a huge way. But she also was like, let's get into this. And it was a lot of fun, especially because, as a DM, you're always kind of like, how's this going to go? It was a lot of fun, running stuff for her. So, yeah. No, I mean, I liked everybody who he had.
I think there's still a lot of and just on that, there's a lot of room for guests, I think, especially now that we've reached a new place with all this magic and stuff. And so who knows who could show up in the future. I think that's fun.
The multiverse is open.
The multiverse. Well, kind of. It's more like just another world. But yeah. So yeah, the multi.
Don't say the multiverse, because then nobody / somebody comes through, and that's your alternate nobody. And then
And yeah, then we're at quota for those.
we don't need any more nobodies.
Well, there's a lot, we talk about guests, right? And somebody who is very close to the show, but certainly hasn't appeared on the show. But we keep getting a question about him, and he pops up in chat all the time. Law Talk with Mike. And one of the questions that we got here is, if Law Talk with Mike was to appear on the show,
Mhm.
what kind of class would he be? And that's from
Oh.
Angela B.
Mm.
That's a tough one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he's snooty and looks down on things, so I imagine he'd be a pally like me.
I was gonna think Warlock.
And now, chat,
my,
you need to tag him on Twitter and let him know that he could be.
Oh
Overwatch.
yeah, just totally tag him in everything. That will make him so happy.
Mike the Warlock.
So happy. He's gonna text me in 20 minutes being like, why did my Twitter just blow up?
It's all love. It's all love. He wanted to make fun of the nerds. Nerds mobilize.
Oh, this one's great. We could call him Magic Mike if he's a warlock.
That's perfect, especially because I heard they're coming out with a third one.
Yeah, the last chance.
Hashtag Law Talk with Magic Mike.
And then you could just give him all the terrible spells. Oh, this is so good.
We have to get him on there
LTWMN.
for season 2.
Terrible as in amusing terrible, or terrible as in
yep.
Crown of Madness, and this was
Yep.
designed by an idiot. Terrible.
His
All of
Using
the above.
terrible.
Malort
Like,
is his magic
what
item
else
that he
was
comes in
he-
with.
Oh.
instead of Trinity's bow.
He throws Malort at something and they just dissolve.
Yes.
There you go.
Or they just give up fighting and are like, I'm gonna go, be a bartender rather than have to deal with Malort.
We got a question here from EKEP.
All right.
What does each player consider the alignment of their character? And do you think that it's changed through the progression of the game?
So wait, so what exactly is the question?
So
About
your
alignment?
Your
the
alignment.
alignment, which is are you chaotic good? Are you lawful good? Are you neutral? Are you chaotic evil? Are you lawful evil? And what do you see your characters as?
Ah.
Yeah. Well, when I had created mine, I was neutral good. And I think that's pretty much the same. But yeah, I mean, you can see I'm a paladin, so I'm most paladins are going to be lawful good. I'm clearly not that. And working through that has been fun. Wendy, go a little bit further. You got to see little flashes, I think, of what nobody is about. He's trying to be a paladin because he's gone through some stuff, and that comes out on occasion. I was trying to do that particularly with what was it, Valis, the little gnome guy in the inn.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of people reacted to, whoa, what in the world is nobody doing? When he, picks him up and forces him to lock the doors and things like that. So I was trying to tap into that a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm still neutral good.
I would say Lima wants to be lawful good, but she's more lawful neutral because she also has this penchant for like using thaumaturgy to like make other people afraid, to like get them to do things, which is probably not a very good thing to do.
Well, it is strategic. But it's not used maliciously. Unless we find out now it is.
No, I'm thinking about it. No, I think that's maybe not maliciously, but it's not necessarily always used strategically, right? So like with Valis, for example, like she was just like at the end of her rope, like she was just exhausted, and she was like, "I'm done. Like you need to let us stay here. You need to lock the doors, and you're not going to charge us any money for it."
That's teetering.
Yeah. So I'd say she's about neutral.
What about Ghostblade? What kind of alignment do you think Ghostblade is?
I mean, I created him neutral, but the more that it's funny, these characters, you start to think their backstory and you start to go through the experiences and they really do become their own little character. He became chaotic neutral real quick, like just back and forth within the blink of an eye, never trending towards one direction or the other. He was the friend, and then all of a sudden he was going and killing things. Like there was an unpredictability that was just built into his character.
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, when you're playing a rogue like that, there's a lot of doors that get opened for morality, which is a lot of fun. But on that note, we got a question here from Nicole. Do you guys remember the moment that you first became your character instead of just playing a game? When was the first time?
And you skipped somebody there, man.
He wants to say his alignment.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're still going.
Definitely chaotic.
I'm trying to get we have questions rolling in as fast as possible. I'm just trying to make sure we get as many as we can. But yes, what is Gimlet's alignment?
I feel chaotic neutral because, I mean, Gimlet has a definite larcenous streak, but at the end of the day, when he's pressed, he'll do the right thing. It's like, all right. But, I mean, he will take his time getting there, and when there is nothing like that, it's like, okay, let's go steal some stuff.
Or like stepping on the green dust to go save your friend.
Yeah, it's like, okay, fine, we'll do that, but also we will hide the gold in the innkeeper or in the inn room, because he's gonna go back for that one day too.
I had intended on doing an epilogue where Gimlet goes and gets his gold back. That was the original epilogue, and I was like, you know what? Let's see what actually happens here.
It's gonna have to happen at some point.
Oh no, it's funny either way. Things work out. But yes, do you guys remember the moment that you first felt like you were able to empathize with your character? So you were able to like really get into character, that you weren't just like playing a game through the motions. Like obviously you look at the first time we played and it felt like, well, what would I do? What should I do? But when did you start asking, what would my character do? What would Lima do? What would Ghostblade do? What would Gimlet do? Was there a moment where you noticed it?
I think there's two for me. One of my favorite was Nightwind drop kicking that student in the hallway. Just with the back two hooves just knocking him out. That was one where it was like, can I do this thing that makes no sense whatsoever, but could be really funny if I did it? Yeah, let's do it. And then the other one was not the murder, but like just some of the death scenes where it was like, oh, you just killed something. How would you like to end this person's life? And I was like, knife through the throat, please. And it was just tapping into that character in that moment, like funny, crazy, and then all of a sudden a terrible, disastrous thing, just murdered. Yeah.
These things happen. What about nobody?
I mean, I think for me, it's pretty early on. I had a pretty clear vision of what I wanted to do with the nobody character. And a lot of it was exactly how much do I show and how terse am I? So I think the first episode, yeah, we're all getting into our shoes. But pretty early on, certainly by the time that we're dealing with kind of like the village attack and Chicken Hawk, or what, Foghorn Leghorn, so that's episode 3. So somewhere in between there, by the time we're in episode 3, I'm totally feeling like I understand what I'm doing with nobody. So pretty early. I don't know if that's not a moment. It's not a great answer. Sorry, but I mean, I feel like I knew what I wanted to do pretty early on.
Okay.
These things
I
happen.
think for Lima, the first time was probably meeting Hardy, because that was an encounter that I had not anticipated in the very detailed backstory that I made for Lima. Was like her affinity or non-affinity for furry animals, and so I was like, you know what, yeah, let's go for it. So that was the first time, but I think in much more of, like, in a much stronger way, I'd say probably when they met the pig people, and she starts like really interacting with emotions a lot, like getting very angry and very frustrated and like acting through those emotions.
I think it was moments like that of trying to get like you to switch between the two characters, so there was like a clear distinction, and that's I threw Hardy in just for you to see what would happen. I knew it was. I knew.
Awesome.
Now, Ian, you rolled in, and it felt like fully formed from the first moment I heard from you.
Basically,
I mean, I've done a fair bit of role playing, but I think really the moment where sort of Gimlet was really early on. We were in that bar, and I forget who it was who came up to Gimlet, and he said something snarky, and I can't remember what the line was. And it wasn't really something I meant to say. It was just sort of something that was like Gimlet coming out and going, nope, this is what I'm going to say. And I'm like, okay. So really kind of early on, but like that was sort of like, okay, this is where we're going with this one. I think it was something snarky that also had Hoeg going, oh, crud, why did I bring Runkle on this?
There was so many of those moments where I looked over at Rick, and it was just going, you just see the discomfort on his face. So broad. But then there were so many that he invited on himself. You don't always have to take the first lance given to you, being one of the best moments.
Yep.
That was fun. And you talked about it in our earlier Talking Dragons, Rob, but that particular moment was David's trying to get me to take a lance, and I'm like, no. And you don't have to let David get away with everything.
I love that, like, it's that kind of pushback, because it's still y'all's story to like play out, so it's kind of fun when that happens. So like, yeah, we don't have to go back to the other world. Like, y'all could stay in eternity. That's your choice.
Can I ask,
even though Hardy could be frantic about it?
Can I ask you a quick question? Like, how did it change for you as we kind of learned and started lawyering the game more and playing a little bit more combative with you? Like, did it become easier, harder, more fun? Like,
it was, you know what? It's the engagement there made it that much more immersive and easy. It actually made it easier for me because now I have to be paying attention to every detail. So that actually, if I have to be focusing on it, it's easier for me to not only come up with things, but then remember things.
It's so funny to me though, because I'm sitting here on a dragon in eternity or a dragon hawk in eternity, and I'm listening to this conversation. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people! David is trying to get you all over here. What are you doing?
Trying. You don't think that's why I jumped in and started cross-examining Kovas. I was like, how do we get there? What do we do? Give me the details. You're being really vague.
It's just so funny. It's like Lima coming out, Alita coming out and being like, I don't believe you. I was like, you gotta believe him. This is how we get over here.
Well, so you can still go there and not believe that this is like,
and that's what David came up with. David comes up with like halfway through the conversation. Well, you don't need to trust me on this. It's just true.
It's like, okay, if do you believe him? That's why there's an insight check.
Yeah.
Because you'll like if you got a 20, you'd be oh, he's lying, or you got a not 20, you're like, there's something very uncomfortable about this. You do not trust this person, or in any situation. That's why it's like it's a great tool for moments like this, or moments like that. And there's a lot that show up. I think what was most challenging in that aspect with like the lawyering part of it was getting to episode 4 when we brought in Emily D. Baker. And it was about like, how do we get there? You guys have to be arrested. You have to do something that gets you arrested. There has to be precipitating events. And then not only do you have to like go through a trial, which has to happen within 2 hours, you guys have to be the ones on the stand, because if it's just me as witnesses, I'm talking to myself all day.
And this was also fun. A moment where I was like, I could probably get Gimlet out of this, but I shouldn't, because like the plot has to happen. So it's like, let's lean into the plot is kind of the thing.
I know you've mentioned it before, David, but I was really fond of Emily just saying, no, they're not going up on the witness stand.
Yeah. Oh, when she literally, you were going, okay, they're not.
I was sweating that day. I was like, oh, I forgot.
Funny.
They're all elite lawyers, and I put them in a courtroom, and I know nothing. Uh-oh.
That was also I love the Ghostblade Chaos moment with the crayon. Like, that was where Chaos really came out, and I was like, I'm just throwing a crayon across the courtroom. That entire episode was so funny.
And I love the guy going, I'm not even a lawyer. Anyway, fireball. I'm like,
anyway, yes. Fireball. And the drunk judge that was just drinking that was
that originally he was going to be like a gruff judge. And then I realized like, oh, wait a second. I don't know enough to play a drunk, like a gruff judge. I'm just gonna make him drunk, so he's just silly.
You did for laughs.
So his decisions are gonna be strange anyway.
Exactly. A drunk judge. The other side isn't a real lawyer. You set it up good, David.
I don't know. I look back on that. I'm like, we could have done a few things better, but it was just so damn good. It was like, if I had read up a little bit.
It's close enough to perfect that it's like, don't mess with.
It was fun.
I just love that Emily read through the character prompt we gave her and like used all of the special items. And then Nate did that too. Nate did the same thing. Used all of the special items that they got. So it was like it was really fun that we got to do that.
Yeah, Nate. I mean, yeah.
So did Blackleaf. Every time, like, are they within 30 feet of me? Can I use this thing that is going to kill them?
Describe the cone.
He said it in the happiest voice ever.
Did you say they're in a cone?
Yeah.
Yes, people, by the way, because I know we got more questions from the Discord and everything else, but David won't do it himself. Like and subscribe to this stuff. Prototopics is awesome. This is David's channel. And we are appearing here because he has been awesome to us all season. He does great stuff. And yeah, I'm going into full Care Bear mode, but like, subscribe, tell people that this stuff is out here because he's doing these shows all the time. And he's David, fantastic and he deserves the support.
Are you monetized yet?
I am, but there is, it seems like the YouTubes have smote me at the moment.
I was gonna say turn on super chats because
it will be resumed probably. I can't fix it. I have to sign out of YouTube, so we can't do it while we're on. But that's okay. That's fine.
That's terrible.
You guys, so here's a quick tip. You guys can leave super thanks in comments.
There
Like,
you
you
go.
don't have to send the super
Yes.
chat. You can actually go back and you can like the video and leave a super thanks if you want to. Not if you don't have to, but if you want to,
I
It's actually written into the Constitution that you have to.
it's,
Oh my god. That's the Canadian Constitution.
is that canon? Is that
May or may not apply.
Is that canon now?
well, yes.
Yeah.
that is canon now. Ian has spoken. Let's see what other questions we got. Oh, here's a good one. What song would be on your Lawyers and Dragons playlist? I think that this is just the Lawyers and Dragons playlist for the show. So if you had to pick one song that should be on that playlist, what would it be?
It's that intro song.
Okay, that's like cool, but like, you got anything else?
Damn.
I like. I mean, we hear that. It's like, you know. I think they're looking for like, what kind of Taylor Swift song would you put on there? Is
All of them. Who's not a
Is-
Swiftie?
that's
I
yeah.
Thunderstruck.
Ticketmaster, that's who.
Yeah, my next
Segues are
sponsor manual
perfect,
meeting
man.
is
Nicely
about
done, Alita.
being the one that ran the bots and did that to the Swifties.
I mean, this
Um,
is an excellent question, but I'd need a little bit more time to think about it.
Yeah,
Other
it's a
than saying
thinker.
something like Galactic Mermaid,
I'm sorry?
do a Google search for it.
Am I going to be tagged on some list if I Google search Galactic Mermaid?
Probably.
I mean, if you're not already on a list, the FBI is not doing their job.
Just,
But
yeah. Well, I don't
do a
know.
Google search for Galactic Mermaid. You will get a
Okay.
YouTube video that comes up. I feel like it might sometimes, but also don't let your kids listen to it.
Okay.
There
It
it
is
is.
not family friendly.
I think I
It is
quoted
not
songs-
family friendly at all.
I think
But
I quoted
sometimes
songs
it does
almost every
capture
episode.
the.
I think Lima's song would probably have to be something like "Living on a Prayer."
That's pretty good. That's
Sure.
pretty
Because
good.
she's a cleric.
I liked AC/DC Thunderstruck. Like that's a fun one to think about with a lot of the battles.
Well, you can see
Yeah, that's
primarily
true.
I'm a smorgasbord of 80s song references. I don't even know how many I referenced this season. 25. So
We did have a
uh,
lot of music.
There's
references.
actually a playlist. Someone has. I have to find it. Someone has. I can't remember who made it, but they made a playlist of every song we have referenced.
I don't know that I don't know
the
that people
entire
have taught them all. I mean, I was putting in middle lines of Debbie Gibson songs and things in the middle of the episode, so I'm not positive, but they're
Yeah,
out there. Easter eggs for a rewatch.
I'm gonna have to come up with something for that, but it's gonna have to be later, especially because I don't know that I can listen to my playlist without it leaking into this and getting David another strike.
Yeah. The theme
Oh,
song.
I
Friends.
hope I'm not struck. If I did, I didn't get that email. But
I like it, Nurse Liz.
who knows?
It's Friends Forever from the
I'll be
mid-season
there
Saved by the
for
Bell
you.
episode, in which the Zack attack takes over the music world.
Oh God.
Still, one of my favorite lines of the entire season was "Nobody wants to be your friend forever."
Forever.
Yes, that needs to be a shirt.
On just all the shirts, like all the lines, the one-liners. I don't know how they happened the way they did, and they all came out so freaking naturally. It was just funny.
And Anissa me in the chat is saying, listening to Galactic Mermaid can't stop laughing.
Nice.
We have a couple of quick fire questions, and I think these are personal to your character. So,
Uh-oh.
is Valis still forever friend for nobody?
Valence actually. So if you go watch those episodes, I'm playing that pretty specifically after the Valis stuff. I feel very guilty about the Valis treatment. Nobody does. That was showing a part of himself he was trying to put behind him. So yes, he'd very much like to be friends with Valis, but he would understand if Valis didn't want to be friends with him.
You know what? Internal observation. That's fair. That works. Has someone cursed Nigel to be forever covered in glitter yet? And I will leave that with Rob, because Rob was the last one to see Nigel. I don't know where Nigel is.
Nigel will forever pick glitter out of just all the time. Glitter everywhere. And every time he finally does get like the last speck of glitter off, like a package will arrive, he will open it, and an explosion of glitter will happen again.
He gets glitter bombed again. When are Nobody and Lumberloss enrolling in the Pointy Hat School?
I don't know. Right now, we got some stuff to work through.
I was
have
thinking
some
that we have to work out some things, but certainly the Rob and Nobody attend Magic School sub-season would definitely be a fun one.
That's when we go from Friends to Joey, but that's what the show is. Nobody and Ghostblade go to university.
Nice.
How busy has Gimlet's family kept Trinity?
I suspect very busy. Gimlet's family is like, these are good people to know if you're doing criminal defense, because they'll always sort of keep you in business. If you actually go back and people ask me, is RunkleoftheBailey a shout out to Rumpole of the Bailey? And it is. But there's a family, and I forget the name of it in the books, but Gimlet's family is basically that family. They get up to trouble. They get up to mischief. They are pretty much all, to greater or lesser degrees, involved in, whatever. So yeah, it is.
So they got Trinity on
they will
payroll then.
I
figure there's probably a Fiegel lawyer somewhere there.
No way.
But I mean, I figure that they're also going to rely heavily on Trinity, especially when, the Fiegel lawyer is not necessarily available.
I was going to say, like, how is the Fiegel lawyer's like licensing status?
I
like, is he still licensed?
I kind of figure it's one of those things of like always managing to avoid getting disbarred on some sort of technicality.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you've gone for rehab 6 times now, but yeah, I guess we'll give you a 7th. It's like, what's this one for? I'm addicted to jubes.
I you know what? I'm just, like I said, I'm excited to see when we meet the Fiegel clan. That's gonna happen.
Oh, that's gonna be chaos.
That's gonna happen. Does Lima have her boating license yet?
Oh yeah, of course. She's been seafaring for quite a while.
I believe that. She definitely took command of what was the ship called?
Oh, what did we call the ship?
Something.
The Black Squirrel?
The Black Squirrel, yeah, like the Black Pearl, but in honor of the legendary squirrel.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
I think Nurse Liz has the correct comment in the chat there as to why the lawyer Fiegel stays in practice. It's like, oh, well, if we disbar this guy, then somebody else, else
wants to do it.
We have to take on all this work. So no thanks.
I will say one of the original things that I had in mind for the ending was for part of that epilogue was that Gimlet was going to go back, get the bag of gold, and then like the final shot would have been like Gimlet hears a voice coming from like a silhouette in the doorway, and it's like, Gimlet, it's time to come home, and then we would have ended there. that was where we would have where we were originally going to go.
Nice.
We'll see what happens.
Is there ever, and I think this is for everybody, is there ever a limit on bedazzled lances?
Never. The limit does not exist.
That was a time in kind of playing this game that I kind of realized, embrace the chaos. You're not going to be able to control anything that happens. If it becomes sparkly, embrace the sparkle. Like, just let it ride. It was so cool.
I feel like the limit is that the answer to that question really depends on whether we're using encumbrance rules. So, yeah,
that's fair.
Oh, Abigail, I told you not to play it if you've got kids around.
Oh no.
Somebody played Galactic Mermaid with kids around. That was a bad life choice.
There was a disclaimer on that.
There was.
Oh, here's a good one. I would like to know, what is one thing each of your characters didn't do this season that you would like the chance to do? So is there anything throughout the course of our, I think, 15 episodes, is there something that you're like, I wish I did that? I think we should start with nobody.
Well, I really want to take a paladin oath. I really want to get into the paladining. And that opportunity didn't present itself, but hopefully it will in the future. But I think, no, we're halfway through, we're 3/4 of the way through, and I want to make sure that I'm getting at least some of my background out in the story, which I think I did, but it was me wondering each episode whether I looked psychotic as I go between pole states. And it's like, no, I think we're doing okay.
But in a good way.
Yeah, well, there you go. And I wanted to make sure we got that out, and so I think it's a little bit better understood. But I was worried about that in the middle. I was like, I got to make sure that I don't look like a crazy person or like crazy in a wrong direction. And so that was what I wanted to do. But I feel good about it now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to paladining more.
I gotta say, I actually really liked when a bit of the crazy came out with nobody. Like
Good.
because nobody was sort of like, I'm like, okay, typical, very goody paladin type. And then we're in the Velas's Inn. And you're like,
that was awesome.
I want to be friends for, and I'm like, ooh, he's got some stuff going on.
Ooh,
I
he's
want to explore this.
That was the
like,
idea. I was worried about it, trying to, it's like, because I did get comments. I did get comments on both the video and in like the chat about like the equivalent of like you're playing him wrong. It's like he's a paladin, he's all these things. I was like, I know
that was the moment when I fell in love with nobody as a character, because like everybody, like every character's got a moment where I'm like, ooh, yes, and then I'm like, yep, that's the moment where I really feel like nobody was like, yes, now I'm a fan of nobody.
Good. I was worried about that kind of stuff because I was getting notes. It's like you're playing him wrong. Okay.
Oh, no.
Like I kind of feel like I know him better than you.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like, well, I did write the background. I have more info than you.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. It's like it's your character. It's like, so whatever the rules say, like not all paladins are lawful good. I mean, in fact, if you have your oath, and this is what's really fun, and I've always wanted to like play this out in some way. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's like I do this. I want to do this as a player. If you're playing a paladin that's like really good and you have to break your oath, you become an oath breaker, and you're like totally evil after that. It's like there's a whole subclass for evil paladins that are oath breakers.
It's if you unrepentantly break your oath, because you can break the oath and come back, like you can atone and all of that.
Technically,
it's just like,
yes.
I love it. This is like a prime directive argument here, folks. We got. Are you allowed to go interfere with those people to save their lives?
It's kind of an important distinction because, like, in past editions, paladins had the problem of like you are super bound by your oath, and then you'd get DMs who are like, "Do you save the kittens or do you save the puppies?" And either choice breaks your oath, and you will not be a paladin again. And that was always a jerk move. And 5th edition sort of solved that with like, save whichever and then feel bad about the other one and you're good. And it's an improvement. So
without like getting there's a breaker in there. If you have oath of the crown and you're sworn to a kingdom and then you find out the kingdom's evil and you have to break your oath, technically that's an oath breaker.
Except you can also switch oaths. Like there's stuff where you might say, okay, I'm no longer oath of the crown. Now I'm oath of, conquest. Like we're going to tear this guy down.
That's
like,
true. You can
or, vengeance paladin. Like we are going to tear this down and,
upcoming debate.
See, all of which could happen in the future. Yeah. None of you know what my paladin oath is. So we'll get there.
Let's see. We had some other. Oh no, we still have to go through. What's Ghostblade's? What's the one thing you would wish Ghostblade had done and didn't do?
I honestly don't think there is much. I still don't know the full extent of what my character can and cannot do. And that was one of the really fun things, was learning the different things I could do, like, and asking David in combat, can I do this thing? And he was like, well, technically, yeah, you can. I was like, all right, I want to do this. So I just want to learn what else my character can do and just take it from there.
I think we're gonna do, and that's on that note. It's like the whole point of like this campaign or this arc was to just get everybody into it, get in touch with your characters, and then once we all like really enjoyed it and wanted to like, and it was confirmed that like, all right, well, we're gonna keep going, we're gonna do this more often. I'm like, well, let's not rush to conclude everything right now, because there's so many other details we could play out with a bigger world. Like now the stage is bigger and your opportunities are endless. So like now there's more time to play around, and now you've learned who all of your characters are, and everybody knows. Just that, like, I treated this like an act 1 of an overall kind of thing. So I think that there's definitely a lot more to it, and that's I want to get into. There's the 2 things that I wanted most, and I know I've said this to Rick, but the Fiegel clan, and we need to know about Ghostblade's backstory.
Oh yes, I know.
Not today.
We're not gonna know about it today, but
that's the thing in terms of behind the scenes for Talking Dragons. If you don't know the process, it's actually pretty fun. David is the god, right? He's the master of the universe. But in order to make the show work and things like that, he has to give me little signals and things, so I know some stuff about what's going to happen. The other 3 participants basically don't know any of the things that we got planned. So like David will tell me at the stop of the season, we have to get into court in episode 4, because I have to go ask Emily, can we do this, and do the dates line up and all these kinds of things. And then it's like, okay, so we're coordinating on these things. And yeah, David, I don't want to overhype it. David's got some amazing plans for season 2. Amazing.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that sound effect is actually pretty apt, Alita.
I'm hyped.
We'll see.
We only had 2 hours, and I didn't really want to get into like big time lore stuff today. I didn't think that it was appropriate. I feel like we already had a lot going on. Let's just have fun, round it out, and explain just enough. And if you listen to like what was said, it does all make sense. And I'm very excited to see what happens next with all that. But Alita, what is answer? Question same to you. What's one thing you wish Lima did that she didn't do?
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat as Rob, in that it's sort of been more of a discovery process of like, what can my character do? So I'm still, I would be interested to know if there are more things that she could do that she hasn't, that I just haven't like sort of connected just about yet. I mean, one of the things that I would love for her to have is some kind of like an animal companion. Like, I don't know, like a giant wolf or something.
You want a dire wolf?
I don't know, something. But
he's like, I'm not saying no, but I'm also definitely saying yes.
Exactly.
You need a goldfish. You're gonna have to carry around a goldfish bowl.
Oh God.
I think
that's not particularly helpful.
That's a perfect follow-up question though. What is one thing that each of you wants to see next campaign? What is one thing you want to see happen next time we're around?
I want Nightwind to grow wings. I want to fly. That'd be fun.
Butterfly.
Good
in
news.
the sky.
I actually just learned the fly spell.
You guys are going to be a hoot next season. Gimlet's going to hurl Ghostblade through the air with a fly spell. I don't know. I think I would like to see. So one of the things I really enjoyed this season was like the one-off with Ian, where we were basically in a haunted house. I would like to see continued kind of tone shifts and environment shifts. I really like the visit to the magic school, for instance. So I'd like to see a couple more of those because I think that's fun.
The magic shop that Gimlet and Lima went into together.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right?
Oh yeah, with the honey, with the guy who's getting.
You guys are equipped with all sorts of weird
getting
magic
plastered.
Getting plastered on magical honey.
Yeah. Lima has the sleeping sand now.
Yeah, and the concept of brains brains carrying through from like the first pilot episode and making his way into this world, and just the entire world being created by both the chat, the characters, David. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad that was I think for me that was the moment where it just kind of clicked for everybody that this is like possible kind of thing, that this is, this whole storytelling medium works this way. And I think it worked for the chat too, because that was when the chat kind of caught. That's when all you guys caught on to it too.
Chat kept me from being eaten. I'm always happy about that.
The chat did say
I'm upset about that today. Like that was a thing.
Could have had another weapon.
But I got the weapon in the end. David always had a plan for that.
I didn't know it was going to come to like fruition so quickly, but yes. I didn't know we were going to supercharge that thing so soon.
We'll see what it does.
I mean, I know what it does, but you'll see what it does.
I know what it does. Is my soul still bound to this thing?
Oh, you're definitely still bound to it.
Ooh,
It's a
but
soul-bound
bound
item.
to it. What's the like? Who's in control of that binding is another question.
That's a good
It's
question.
the Soul Stealer 10,000, Soul Snatcher 10,000.
It got upgraded.
It got upgraded.
Chat, get all of your bondage comments ready for next season.
Oh,
Just
We're not on Rick's channel, so
Ian has
you can
so
say
much
that.
fun with those.
You've
Ian
got like
loves-
2 months to think of really, really spicy commentary.
Ian likes to just
Jay,
toss
you're-
it out there.
You're the leather daddy.
The mods have to deal with it. Every once in a while, I'll see a Secret McSquirrel chat, and I don't know why. And it's just like, remember to keep it family friendly, chat. I don't know what I meant.
I see it. I see it
Yeah, I see
too.
those too.
Absolute
don't know what I
champ doing
meant.
that.
Secret McSquirrel is the best. So
Well, everyone, we're getting to the end here. Is there anything you want to touch on for the end of campaign 1?
Well, I said it at the very tail end of our broadcast, but I couldn't be more thankful. Obviously, we hang out on my channel, and I really appreciate it from all you. And David, this wouldn't exist if you don't reach out to me over the summer. So I'm just so thankful for that as well. I mean, my getaway on this, my go away, and I see people asking when it's going to be. We don't think it's that far away, folks. So we're not going to make you wait like it's a Final Fantasy game. I'm very thankful for the whole process, and this has been so fun. My wife came to me yesterday and said, "Are you excited about having Saturday morning next week?" And I said, "I don't know. I think it's going to feel weird. We've been doing this consecutively, but I think it's good for everybody to get a break, including chat, to have a holiday season, and then the Lawyers and Dragons will be back." And that's it. That's all I got. But I'm just really, really thankful. I think it turned out fantastic, and that's not because of me. That's because of everybody involved in all of this.
Yeah. And Rick, thank you so much for being our awesome host through all of these episodes as well. This has been really, really, really great. I mean, obviously there's
hitting the
time
button.
and effort for you. No, but also for you to like coordinate with other people. And so, that's all of that takes time too. So, so big props to you. Big props to David for the time that you guys took to put this together.
Yeah, it was with pleasure. This has been a lot of fun. And getting to see all you guys and seeing the chat light up about this, and everybody feel that this is like an option of like a medium, a storytelling medium is just I've always said it's a creativity generator. It's like it's just that's all it really is. But like as we go, I just want to point out, like, getting the chance as me, who is just met all of you guys through the Johnny Depp trial, and get the chance to do this was truly outstanding, because I am one of the chat. I just happen to know how to make silly voices on the computer, but it's been really amazing to get to hang out and become friends with all you guys through this. So I thank you very much for that. That's been really awesome.
I second that. It's been amazing to get to know you, David. And
Likewise.
Alita said, thank you to all the work that's been done. David does the vast majority of the work. And I will tell you this, he's got, a job. He's a busy person. He's doing his own channel and all these things at the same time that all of this is going down. And I am fortunate to get to DM with him and have these conversations, and sometimes see him adjust and scramble and prep things that don't quite go the way he wanted them to go. And it's constant.
Like Ian's coming home from the hospital halfway through an episode.
Ian, well, you guys don't even know. You guys, so I saw somebody in chat ask about like your biggest disappointments and things. Ian, you didn't know this, and I didn't tell you when it happened. David had what I would argue to be his biggest plans for what was going to be his exit for that episode, because we knew we had a week off, and he had talked to me about having kind of effectively a fireworks display and epic cliffhanger and all these things for that episode, which turned into a fun fight against pirate boars.
Yes.
That message comes in. That message comes in, and David and I are like communicating behind the scenes. I go, what are we going to do? So I will say this. My biggest disappointment of the season is we didn't quite get to do what David had planned, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because I think it could still fit in pretty well in other places. So that's it. But David is such a here's the best compliment I can give David, because it's so important in life and everything else. He is constantly optimistic. He is constantly positive about, all right, screw it. This is the thing that has been thrown at us. This is the hand I've been dealt, and we're going to go this direction, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do this. And I have not once seen him. I've seen him stressed. I've seen him have a lot on his plate. I have not once seen him kind of collapsing on himself. And so he's amazing. And I highly recommend following this channel, checking out whatever he does. He has been great throughout a whole lot of stuff in the past couple of months. And that includes Lawyers and Dragons, and it includes more. So, David, much appreciation to everything that you bring to this. And it's positive, certainly for me. And I think it's for the rest of my colleagues as well, that we've gotten a chance to meet you and hang out.
Oh, absolutely.
Super high praise. And I
It's the truth.
Appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, we're going to tie this up. But you know what? The fun today isn't going to stop, because a couple of things are about to happen. I've got a Star Wars episode dropping right now. It's
Nice.
Probably already started. And then a few of us, or at least me and Ian, will be back later today for Ian, which channel are we on tonight?
We're on Role of Law, and it's going to be me. I haven't really run a whole lot in forever, but I'm going to be running Stars Without Number, which I haven't run in a long time. It's an adventure I've run before, but I'm still sort of trying to polish up. But basically, kind of an intro to Stars Without Number, which is one of my favorite role-playing games.
Can I just say I love the title? It's like poetic.
Stars Without Number.
The other really good thing about Stars Without Number is you don't have to buy the physical book. They have a free version that is basically everything you need to play. There's a few sort of rule sets that they keep off in the paid version, but you can run the game just fine with the free version. So anybody who wants to download that and have a look at it sort of as we go, just and sort of see under the hood. But if you watched Firefly and like Firefly, Stars Without Number is a great way to play a similar kind of game. And it's D20 based. It's real simple. So yeah, we'll see if I screw it up, because I am nowhere near as good as David, but I'm going to give it a go.
I wouldn't say that. I think
We
we're
know
going
who
to have a
hasn't
great
seen
time.
Firefly, right, chat? So he'll get on that eventually.
And I will also be making use of the voice changer. So
Something to look forward to.
Oh,
Love
my
it.
gosh.
And with that, folks, I think that is where we are going to tie up today's season or campaign of Lawyers and Dragons, Trees of Eternity. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.